Welcome back to How Good Will They Be, a series where I talk about a team looking very interesting heading into the next NBA season, and I give you my opinion on how I think they can do next year and some interesting moves that they made. In this episode, we have the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors obviously got Klay Thompson back, which obviously makes them super interesting, seeing how they're going to do with Klay Thompson that really has not played for 2 years. Thus, they had to be in an episode, so we're going to get right into it. Now that Klay Thompson is back, we get to see the duo Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, one of the best duos, not of all time, but they're definitely the best shooting duo of all time for the first time since 2019. So they're obviously going to be really exciting, and people are going to be tuning in for their first little bit. We saw how good Steph Curry was last year, and now that he has a lethal shooter, he is going to space the floor Klay Thompson, and this will make the Warriors really good again. The Warriors also have Draymond Green, the heart and soul of the team, and they also have a sophomore now, James Wiseman, who showed lots of potential last year despite having a relatively disappointing year. I still think he can be the starting center for the Golden State Warriors, and they also have Andrew Wiggins, who is a very athletic player. He's really shown his defense on the Golden State Warriors. And overall, this starting lineup is looking really nice. In terms of the draft, I think that the Warriors were the second best winners. I just think the Rockets did a little bit better, but the Warriors did amazing. They picked up Jonathan Kuminga, who was supposed to go around 5 and 6, maybe even 4. They picked him up at number 7. And Moses Moody, who was supposed to go top 10, they got him at number 14. So they definitely really got lucky, and now they have two young studs to add on to their bench. One thing I really noticed about this team's bench is their bench most of them are all starting caliber guys. And that is something that a team really needs. They need a good bench, and the Warriors have that. The Warriors did not have the perfect offseason. However, losing Eric Paschall and Kelly Oubre in free agency, two very big pieces. They're both relatively young, and they would have contributed well to this team next year. But they did do good in free agency. They picked up Andre Iguodala, who I doubt he'll play, but you never know. He's returning to Golden State, so Steve Kerr might want to play him. And they also picked up Otto Porter on a veteran's minimum deal, and I really like that signing a lot. Now I want to talk about their potential starting lineup. And this is one of the teams where their starting lineup isn't really debatable. Like, their starters are starters and their bench players are bench players. And if everyone's healthy, their starting lineup will be Steph Curry at point guard, Klay Thompson at shooting guard, Andrew Wiggins at the small forward position, Draymond Green at power forward, and James Wiseman at center. And I personally love this starting lineup. You have elite shooting in Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. That's it. The rest of the guys don't even have to shoot. Defense, you have a great front court in Draymond Green and James Wiseman, who are great at defense. And Andrew Wiggins will also provide great defense as well, guarding the guards of whoever the other team is. And even Draymond Green can guard positions 1 through 5. And in terms of playmaking, Draymond Green is a great facilitator, but I think Steph Curry is still an amazing playmaker as well. And Klay Thompson's there to space the floor. He'll be great too. And the starting lineup is just the perfect blend of everything. And it's not even like the Lakers where they're good at everything, just their team might not work well. We've seen this team work well together. Steph, Klay, and Draymond, they've been playing together for the past 5 or 6 years. And James Wiseman's relatively new, and Wiggins has played a little bit with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. So I really think that this starting lineup is the perfect starting lineup. And their bench is amazing too. Ignore the numbers like you see Kuminga 8, Moody at 7. That's not the exact order on who's more important. I just put those numbers there. So these are just the 6 guys I think will play. So first off, we have Jonathan Kuminga. I think he'll be getting minutes. I mean, they took him at the 7th pick, and he's NBA ready. He's very athletic. And then Moses Moody, I also think will be playing. Damian Lee, I mean, a lot of people think that Jordan Poole should play over Damian Lee. And personally, I don't even know much enough about the two to make a statement. All I know is that Damian Lee hit that game winner against Chicago. So I'm just going to go with Damian Lee, but it really could just be Jordan Poole too. Juan Toscano-Anderson, he really he proved his worth last year. He was barely getting any minutes. He was on a 2-way contract, but he really stepped up, and he showed that he deserves to be a rotational piece. And then I put 10/11 because Iguodala and Looney, I mean, I guess it's a possibility that Steve Kerr plays both. I think he'll just play one. Iguodala, I think he might play more because of the role he had in 2015 when he won Finals MVP. But Kevin Looney was also there too, so it could be either. It could even be both. So this bench is super good too. Their shooting is decent. I mean, I don't know too much about Kuminga's shot. I think Moses Mooney's a good shooter. I know Damian Lee is, and then Iguodala, Looney, and Anderson aren't. Playmaking, you have Iguodala, but he's there more for the defense. And this team is going to be, or this bench is going to be more get to the paint type, I think, judging from it. But this is a really good bench, though. You can even, this team, if you put this bench on another team, some of these guys would start. I think Kuminga can potentially start on another team. And Moody can maybe even start on another team. And that just shows how deep this Warriors team is. And finally, I'm going to go over how good I think this team can be. Obviously, you have Steph Curry. He alone just almost carried the Warriors to the playoffs. We've seen Draymond Green show bits of regression, but still, he's more of a gritty, he's more of a physical guy, and he can play making. That stuff you can't teach, so I think he's still good for this team. And then Klay Thompson coming back, that's the biggest what if, but at the end of the day, even if he's only 50% or 40%, you're still getting Klay Thompson. He'll still hit the 3-ball for you, and this team, I think, is a playoff lock. Steph Curry alone almost carried this team to the playoffs, and along with his good bench, playoff lock. Home court, if this team stays healthy, this team is going to get injured a lot, I can already tell. But if this team stays healthy, they are a home court lock. They'll get a top 4 seed. And it really all depends on their matchup. If they're healthy, it all depends on their matchup in the playoffs. I can definitely see them beating the Nuggets in a 7-game series. But then the Clippers or the Lakers or even the Suns, it really depends. But if this team gets lucky with how other teams are seeded, I think they can go to the Eastern Conference Finals and or the Western Conference Finals, and maybe even the Finals. I guess, the odds of winning are low. I think people are overhyping this team, but I think that they are still an amazing team and they will go far. I think second round's a lock and maybe even Western Conference Finals. Who knows? So seeding-wise, I think the highest the Warriors can get will be the 2 to 3 seed, maybe even 4. I'll say 3 is the highest they'll get. And then the lowest, if they're healthy, will be 6. And for the playoffs, at the very worst, they'll make the second round. And at the very best, they'll make the Western Conference Finals. So that's going to wrap my video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.